What is going on, guys? I'm the White Guy, and today we are checking out another MX vs. ATV Reflex custom track. This one is called Mine by 7 Hornet, and this is with, I'm going to say right now, a quick disclaimer, this was listed under the beta tracks section of Reflex Central, which means it is actively being worked on, or it's being worked on, or it's not a complete track, and so don't take it with a grain of salt. Stuff is subject to change, and oh my god, this track is actually really cool. If you couldn't tell by the title, it's set in a mine. Notice how we're underground right now. Like, I like unique tracks like this. There is no other track like this. I've said that phrase many times. If you would watch me for a while, you're probably getting tired of that. But I like when there's unique tracks and there's nothing else like it. This is definitely that. It's really cool. It's like all underground. I kind of feel like it's... if we're gonna play with the realism card here, it's not Die Hard replica track, because, it's underground, and when you're running engines in underground enclosed spaces with poor ventilation, you get carbon monoxide buildup, that's potentially lethal. So, yeah, probably not that. Anyway, aside from methods of that, I'm not gonna, okay, I'm just gonna cut myself off there before it gets kind of dark. But, yeah, this track is super cool. I think it's sort of like I want to say it's a supercross track. It's like a hybrid supercross national combined, I'd say. I understand, I like it, but I did about 5 laps in this before I started recording. I had a ton of fun with this. This is just a free ride version right now because he's working on it. But there we go. The laps shouldn't be too terribly long, but they're not too long. Like maybe like a minute and a half. I don't know how long these laps are going to be, but not too long. Mildly technical track. A lot of fun, though. And scrub that over there. Take to the inside. Grabbed right there. Gonna hit the step on. Gonna step off there. Launch out. Triple that. There we go. Then if you do this just right, you gotta slow up a little bit. Double into there. Triple up the hill, which would kind of case that just a little bit. And then there's this nice little whoop section, kind of sort of technical whoops, I guess. And you could think you can double this or triple that if you get just the right charge. You can triple single. I think you're better off just doubling that, though. Try and double that next lap. And you can we're just going to slow down and double up there. Step onto this, step off of that, and step back down to there. Hit the double. And this little tire tap bump right there. Just try not to hit the ceiling there. I haven't hit the ceiling yet. We'll try and hit the ceiling in our next lap. I haven't hit it yet, though, which is actually surprising to me. Seems to be just the right height. I like the way this track is set, though. It's different. There's nothing else. It's just very different. I think this is really cool. It's pretty setting. You can do a little stoppy here for style points. There we go. I just like the setting here. Like, it's just pretty, right? It's fun. Fun track for the family. I'm going to address this right now because people are inevitably going to ask this in the comments. I'm going to start doing this every video if I remember to, so people are going to ask this. No, the game is not on Xbox 360, or no, you cannot get this on Xbox 360. It's not on Xbox One, not on PlayStation 3, not on PlayStation 4. You can't get this. If you want to get custom tracks, you play on PC and go to reflex-central.com, or just Google how to install MX vs. ATV Reflex custom tracks. And a video by Return of Dio will probably come up that explains it in literally every detail. If you know nothing about computers, he does a good job explaining it, because in my tutorial of how to install tracks, I assumed people playing games on PC would know something about computers, which is apparently a terrible assumption to make, and I should not have made that. So, yeah. Here's that. Gotta assume people don't know anything about this, because it is apparently a horrible assumption on my part to be making, which is what made it mildly confusing. So I assume people would have had WinRAR and stuff installed on their computer, because everybody who plays games pretty much does. But yeah, I learned can't assume anything, because if you're going to assume something, assume lowest common denominator, like you're explaining it to a 6-year-old, because, well, sometimes you might be explaining it to a 6-year-old in some cases, and in other cases, a lot of people don't know anything about computers. It's kind of like, I feel like people hearing, oh, building computers is so hard, I can't be bothered to build my own computer, let's just order one. I don't know how to build computers, it takes too much time. I feel like that whole thing's like people not wanting to change their own oil on their vehicle. It's like changing the oil on a car is really not all that hard. You take a bolt out, oil drains, you put new oil in, you're good. Not that hard. But a lot of people just don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to bother learning anything. They'd rather just pay somebody else to do it. And I feel like that's pretty much the same argument for building a computer. It's like, oh, well, I could do it, but I'm lazy, and I'll just pay somebody else to do it because they don't want to learn anything. That might have been a bit of a weird anecdote there, but let me know if that lines up. I think that's actually a really good analogy for about building computers. Like, if you're not somebody to learn to change your own oil to save the money, you're not going to be somebody who's going to care to learn how to build a computer, even though they go together like freaking Legos! Not even kidding, people. Literally, like, they make the parts for, they make them so you literally cannot put them in wrong. The power connectors are made so that they cannot go in incorrectly. There's only one way to put a graphics card in. There's only one way the RAM will actually fit in the slot. You can't do it wrong. It's not that hard, seriously. Really, it's not. If you know how to use a screwdriver, you're good. Another thing I'm going to address right now is a quick little comment, concern, question thing that I get a lot is, what type of a setup am I using? So, people say, oh, you should do a setup video, even though my setup's more of a setup picture, really, because it's literally just a computer sitting on a little crappy-ass wood stand I built for it out of some scrap wood I had laying around to get the thing off the ground. That's actually a really good idea. If you guys have computers yourselves, if it's not off the ground, what I would do, it honestly took me like 10 minutes to put together. I just took a couple measurements of where my computer's feet are and put together a little stand on a couple just pieces of scrap wood laying around, so that just like where the rubber feet on the bottom of the computer case are on two little bars that go across horizontally, then everything else underneath it is open, so there's plenty of fresh air for the thing to pull in and helps cut down on dust intake and stuff. I'd suggest doing it. Get your computer elevated so you get less dust in it, and it's just better for thermals. Anyway, the setup would be really a picture. I have two monitors sitting on top of the desk, a keyboard, a mouse, and the computer sitting on a stand. That's my setup. And the specs I'm aiming with is, I've got an FX 8320 or 8350, I don't remember. Because I was looking at buying them. The only difference between the 8320 and the 8350 is clock speed it comes with. I think I got, no, yeah, I have the 8320. Because the only difference between the 8350 and 8320 is the stock clock speed to ship the thing at, and I just bought one of those Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evos that pretty much everybody has. Just got one of those to overclock the 8320 up to 8350 speed, so there's no real difference there. Which actually, now I think about it, I need to turn the clock speed of that down a little bit, because in the winter I like to overclock the chip a little bit. I can get up to 4.4 or 4.5 gigahertz on air cooling, just by opening a window in the winter and kind of putting the computer near the window, and it sucks in the cold air, and on air cooler I can get like 4.4, 4.5 gigahertz out of that. Back in the summer, I almost underclock it a little bit just to cut down on some of the heat, because the thing puts out a ton of heat, especially the way it is now. Which is I like to cut the clock down to like 3,400 or 3,600 megahertz as opposed to 4,500, just so you don't have that much heat coming out of it. That's the CPU. For the GPU, I have a NVIDIA GTX 780. Which is, it's the Gigabyte WindForce 780 with the 3 fans, and I got that as a $150 Craigslist special. So far, I haven't had any issues with it. It's been running fine. Honestly, I'm honestly amazed I found that card. I got that card, I want to say like 8 months ago, maybe, for $150, which I thought, I was just looking around Craigslist for 770, kind of just like perusing around. I saw 780 for 150. I'm like, oh damn, I'm hopping on that now. And there was a Gigabyte WindForce 780 on top of that, because all of the other 770s I saw, the 770 was like $220, $230, and the 780 was $150. So I'm like, oh, we're gonna jump on that. We're getting that. We're getting it, and we got it, and we have it, and so far it's worked out pretty well. It's maxed just about every game I wanted to at 1080p, except for a mixed for ATV Supercross Encore, as we all know. For RAM, we are looking at 16 gigabytes of G.Skill's Aries series DDR3 1600 megahertz, just whatever cheapest DDR3 RAM I could find. As I got 16 gigs of that, I probably want to up that up to 32 at some point, but that requires getting more DIMMs because I only bought 4 gigabyte DIMMs and I have 4 of those. I should have gotten 8 gigs now that I think about it, so I could have had 32 gigs of RAM. Would have been nice, but it's not really necessary too much unless you're doing a lot of video editing, which I'm starting to do. For the keyboard, I've got some like when I started this channel, I bought a Cooler Master CM Storm combo keyboard / mouse. I still have the keyboard because I haven't really bothered to buy it. I really want to get a nicer keyboard, but I've got other things in the works that need money before a keyboard. This keyboard still works, so I'll just live with it. Yeah, that's not my numb lock key died a while ago, but no, it's fine. Keyboard works, so I got that CM Storm whatever keyboard, blue backlighting. And then for the mouse, actually a while ago I did go in on a nice mouse because a nice mouse makes a massive difference. So I got the Logitech G502. That's not the new one with the RGB LEDs, it's the older one, which is the blue LEDs, which is fine because my build theme is blue. I probably set the RGBs to blue anyway. I've got that, which is G502, is Proteus Core, I think it's called. I don't know what it's called, it's just the G502, I know. Love that mouse. There's a nice little thumb rest on there. It's incredibly comfortable. There's, you can program all the mouse's buttons in the computer, so you have 3 different profiles of the mouse. In each profile, you can give every button on the mouse a different function for each profile. So like for media control, I've got a profile so I can like control everything in Vegas with just the mouse. I can like pause and play stuff on the mouse and change songs with the mouse. And then for like games, I've got like 7 different DPI settings. There's a sniper button on the mouse, which you can either use as another button to do something, or you can use to change to lower the DPI as like a sniper button for Battlefield. So you can, without having to like click around between the different DPI levels of the mouse, you can be at like 8,000 DPI, or I like to keep it around 10,000 for regular use. And if I'm just playing Battlefield like 10,000 DPI running around, and then I want to snipe somebody, I can just get the crosshairs right on, hold the sniper button, my DPI goes down to like 100, so it's super, super low sensitivity. I can just lock on, and it's just so nice. I love that mouse. What's next in the little setup thing we're going to discuss here? The microphone is a Blue Yeti, just whatever I found on eBay for like 70 bucks. It came with this nice little arm thing I've got coming off a wall in front of me, so it's just isolated from the desk, so hopefully if I like bump my desk, the mic doesn't move too much. And the monitors are just two 1080p monitors I found on eBay. The cheapest 1080p monitors I could find on eBay, I think one's 21 inches, one's 23 inches. Didn't splurge on that too much, they both seem to work fine. Although I do like the one on my left, it's not my main monitor is a 23 inch, the secondary monitor is 21 inch, the 21 inch monitor definitely has better colors and looks prettier, but it's smaller, so I put it on the side, because I feel like having a bigger monitor on the side would just look kind of funky. But that's going to do it for this video. I think I got through this setup. We've got some laps in this track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We talked about some other stuff instead of just the track for a bit. Hopefully you like this track. Hopefully you like this channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Maybe you like some other stuff we got coming out in the future. I do appreciate everybody that's coming. We're getting close to 25,000 subscribers right now, which is kind of crazy. Not that long ago we hit 24,000. We're already edging on 25. That's awesome. Appreciate all the support, guys. It means a lot that this many people are getting behind me. And hopefully, I've got some pretty cool stuff that's going to be changing in the near future here. Hopefully, it comes out, ends up being a good thing. Got some money we're going to be investing in this channel in the near future. So hopefully, this ends up working out in a nice way. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.